It's Marc again from simplifyinglife.com.au. Today I'd like to share some thoughts with you that I've been gathering over the years and have been working on myself as well. Don't know if you've ever seen a video by Bob Newhart called Stop It. It's obviously a skit, a bit of a hilarious video about a lady who goes to a counselor, shares all her problems with him, and then asks what she should do in order to overcome them. And the only thing Bob Newhart as a counselor says, just stop it. And this completely upsets this lady, and the video continues on. You really have to watch it. But the only thing Bob Newhart keeps saying as a counselor is stop it. And he becomes more adamant and adamant that she just stop it. Stop whatever she's doing. That's actually making her feel bad. Now, it takes the mickey out of clients' problems a little bit, which is where I think, okay, maybe not. On the other hand, there is an element of truth in what he says or what the video tries to show, and I like it for that fact. Obviously, we have to take our own problems, and me as a counsellor has to take clients' problems very seriously and listen to them with great intent and with great empathy. But what I often find with clients, and that's an interesting one, is that one of the things they'll tell me is that they don't know how to stop it, or whatever it is. They might have a drinking problem, or they can't get to actually doing some exercise that they know would be good for them, but they just can't seem to do it. Or they can't stop their, incessant TV binge watching, or whatever it is that they can or can't do and can't seem to get doing or stop, etc. Often, and very often, a solution-focused approach that I use is to actually take one of those things that a client feels unable to stop or feels unable to start. And as an experiment, I don't talk about homework a lot, but as an experiment, you just pick that one up and start doing what you said you don't know how to start doing, stop doing, the thing that you say you don't know how to stop doing. If it's smoking, if it's drinking, if it's using drugs in more serious cases, if it's wanting to do physical exercise, if it's wanting to do more yoga, more meditation, more swimming, more anything really. Pick one of those things and either stop doing it if you want to stop it, start doing it if you want to start it. It seems so simple, but often that's the way to go. It's a matter of giving it a shot. And there is something that a Harvard psychologist researcher called Sean Achor, and he's another very interesting fellow to look up. Sean, I think it's Shawn, and Achor is anchor without the N, so Achor. Talks about the concept of activation energy, especially if you want to start doing things like becoming more fit, for instance. It often takes a lot of trouble or takes a lot of activation energy to get into the mood. You would have to get dressed, you would have to go to the gym perhaps, you would have to pay for a membership, you would have to do all sorts of stuff in order to finally get to the gym set or to the gym machines and start working on them. And often the activation energy is so high that it becomes too high, and people are not willing to pay that price for activating that potential habit. What Sean talks about and what I talk about with clients as well, especially if you want to start doing things that you find yourself just not doing, becoming more fit, reading more, studying, whatever it is, lower the activation energy needed in order to get that habit going. I will admit I used to go to the gym and work with a personal trainer for years. Then I bought the gym set, as many men do. We got the stationary bike, and I used them for a couple of weeks. It was all exciting and new, and then stopped using them, and then they sat in the garage for about a year and a half, just going rusty and dusty, because Marc couldn't bring up the activation energy to actually get on the bloody things and do something with them. How do you make that easier? Well, Sean Achor in one of his books talks about the fact that he wanted to start running to increase his fitness levels and his cardio fitness. And the only way he could do it, and it's sort of told in jest, but he did it seriously, was to actually go to bed and sleep in his running gear, apart from his shoes. But he would put his shoes right next to his bed, like his slippers. So when he would wake up, in the evening, he would shower, put his running gear on, go to bed, and then sleep in his running gear. As soon as he would wake up, he would pop his shoes on, because they were next to his bed like his slippers would be anyway, and then set off running. Now, that made it easier for him because it required less activation energy to get the thing going. For me, I've now found a routine with getting back on, and I've actually been doing it for the last 3 weeks, so I speak out of experience now again, to get back into my fitness routine where as soon as I wake up, I've got my sporting gear lying pretty close to my bed and just pop it on. I don't need shoes because I don't do stuff that requires shoes at the moment. But I just go downstairs, put my slippers, my thongs, my clogs, whatever on, in order to go there. And I pretty much jump on my stationary bike, pedal for 15 minutes while watching an interesting documentary on YouTube or whatever it is that I want to do, and then do my 5 to 10 minute resistance exercises. Then go back in, have a breakfast, then go have a shower and get ready for the day. That activation energy for me apparently is so low that it doesn't take any effort for me to get going, and it becomes part of my daily routine. Now, that's the point. If you find yourself doing stuff that you need to stop, or if you find yourself not doing things that you really want to start, one way of moving forward with that and getting that going or stopping it is to lower the level of activation energy required, and also making an effort to take one of the things that you would like to start or stop, just one. Don't tackle all of them at once. That's the 1% rule that I've talked about in previous videos, and stop doing it. At least give it an effort. If you plan to do something 7 times a week, and if you only get to do 4 out of the week because you seem to fail for the other 3 days, so what? You've done a number. Increase the number the next week and keep going. As long as you keep the activation energy low, keep the attention up, ask the right why questions. Why do I want to do this? And keep committing to actually making the difference. You'll get there at some stage. That's it for today. Look up if you're interested in reading, and there's always interesting stuff to read about anyway. Look up the concept of activation energy. Definitely watch Bob Newhart's video. Stop it. Just type it in on YouTube. You'll find it. And also read up on Sean Acor. He's a fascinating guy who's written a couple of books now and has a really clear-cut way of talking about things. And you can also approach me. If you've got questions, you know where to find me, Marc, M-A-R-C, at simplifyinglife.com.au. Find me on Facebook, find me anywhere. You'll know where to find me. And I look forward to comments and discussing things with you. Have a good one.